glass and toast Annie Harper, peace, and the American soldier. And by the time I leave, I'll have convinced his sorry ass to reimburse me for the hefty therapy bill I will accrue this year while David is gone. Note: presently, I do not have a therapist. Naturally, I have nothing against acquiring one in the future should it become necessary. Honestly, I have no idea what the signs of that necessity will be. Compulsive flossing? Crying in public restrooms? Joint pain? End note. And, as for the When Abstinence Fights for Freedom part of the title, it's an aspect of wartime coping that's really fascinated me. David will be gone for at least 392 days on a mission that is supposed to be saving people and helping them. Something that is supposed to be working toward big abstractions like freedom and peace and progress. A considerable laundry list for 392 days, that's for sure. Not that I'm a big counter or anything, but he did tell me, and I did remember. 392 days equals 13 menstrual cycles, but only 2 times paying my car insurance. It all depends on how you look at it. But right now, in the early stages, I'm a little hung up on nature. I keep thinking about the grandly arrogant act of taking 2 happily mating creatures and ripping them apart for a significant length of time. David and I have been living blissfully for over 2 years in the great barking zoo that is Tacoma, Washington. We've been galloping back and forth to one another's respective dwellings. Mine, a tiny 1-bedroom rambler. His, a dank, unadorned officer's apartment on base. Picking mites from each other's hair and swapping bushy pieces of bamboo. Peaceful inhabitants under a shared dome of safety. Thriving in our contained, functioning ecosystem. And now someone has stepped in, and for reasons I don't entirely understand, because I am such a simple animal, shipped him across the world to another, more volatile cage. So because I keep thinking about this zoo creature business, I keep thinking about this. Aside from 392 days of worrying and missing and taming my imagination and counting my lucky stars, it will be 392 days of no sexual intercourse. When abstinence fights for freedom. Commence the repression of all mating urges now. So now when I watch or read something about Lonesome George, that poor, poor mateless creature, I can raise my drink, not scotch, in a toast of solidarity. Note: for the uninformed, Lonesome George is the rarest living creature on the planet. He's the only remaining specimen of his certain subspecies of Galapagos tortoise. I think scientists discovered him back in the 70s when he was still a young, spry thing. Now George is pushing 70 or 80 or so, and though they've scoured the lush Galapagos Islands high and low, zoologists still haven't found another tortoise of his kind. George is doomed to plod along in solitude. No friends, no family, no lovers. I think the scientists might have tried to mate him with other closely related subspecies females, but Georgie just won't have it. He's holding out for his true partner, one who very well may not exist. Talk about patience. 392 days or forever. End note. To our celibacy, Georgie. To our thick, thick skin. In wondering about historical patterns of female wartime aloneness, my mind conjures up this image of the loyal woman at home as a diligent provider or worker bee or tireless organizer. Ration coupon stashers, child-rearing nurturers, enthusiastic sign-toters. And there's this vague memory of a Greek or Roman lady whose husband was gone for something like 50 years, and she just kept knitting and knitting some ginormous blanket until he got back. Note. Note to self, check on this when you actually write the book. It could have been quilting, or some type of ancient weaving thing. I seem to remember a loom. End note. It was one of those epic battles that lasts for decades, to the point where no one really remembers why it started in the first place. It's always something about border disputes, or crowns, or rights, or beautiful women, or oil. All this to say, if there is a woman at home, she is doing